Hey, my friends, happy Friday Eve day. Give me 1 second because I think my StreamYard is not working correctly. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Yep, gotta love tech. Okay, 1 sec because it's not live in the group. And I think I know why. One sec. All right, let me try this again.
You gotta love
There we go. I know it, right? Okay. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you so much for y'all. Thank you. Thank you for y'all. Thank y'all for being patient. All right, give me 1 second and let me make sure that we are in the group like I intend, because that's the most important place to go live. Okay, cool. All right, I see us there. Woo, doggy, you gotta love some tech. All right, happy Friday Eve day to you guys. We are so excited to have Joan in the house. And you know how we do this. I'm using StreamYard here on my laptop so that I can hit multiple destinations at one time to save time in my business life. And so I have my Facebook business page going, my Facebook group going now that I went and changed the setting, my YouTube channel also. So if you're coming to us through YouTube, smash that subscribe button so you don't miss a single notification of one of my live weekly trainings every Thursday at 11:30. And I was gonna try something new today, and I decided not to because I didn't think it was gonna work. So evidently, there was an announcement that evidently you can put Instagram now through StreamYard. And I tested it out yesterday, but it was vertical on Instagram. And I'm afraid you would have been able to see me and not Joan. So I know a number of you were asking, hey, are you going to try that tomorrow? And I had said that I was, but I'm going to not try that until I'm solo again with you guys, which will be at the 1st of January. So anyway, that's why we're not on Instagram today, but I'm going to try it out in January. And if you are coming to us through Facebook, do us a favor, go to StreamYard.com. StreamYard is all one word, StreamYard.com/Facebook, and give permission for StreamYard and Facebook to talk to each other so that your name appears on my StreamYard dashboard. Oh, shoot. Hold on. The tech today, my phone was ringing. Okay, I need to turn on my do not disturb. That was funny. That was my pharmacy. Oh my gosh. Y'all, you gotta love live video and being a human being on live video. Am I right? Absolutely. All right. So we want to see your name. When you send in a comment through Facebook on my StreamYard dashboard, if you don't give StreamYard permission for us to see your name, then it just says Facebook user. And then I don't get to see your name until I go actually over into the Facebook platform after the live. So today we have a wonderful guest. My student and my friend, Joan Stenzler, is here to share with us the goods on her entrepreneurial journey. And these entrepreneurial inspiration interviews have become one of the most popular things we do. And so you're going to leave this interview feeling inspired and loving Joan as much as everybody else does. So, but first, in case we are new to each other, I am Tracy Beavers. You wouldn't know it by today, but I am an award-winning business and sales coach with over 20 years of experience in marketing, sales, and business growth. And I have coached hundreds of entrepreneurs just like you to get visible, to grow your email lists so you can get that consistent monthly income that you really, really want. Pop your questions and comments into the chat for us as we go along. We are happy to answer anything for you at the end. We'll save a little time for question and answer at the end. And if you're coming to us on replay and you have a question for me or a question for Joan, just pop it in there and tag Joan. If you forget to do that, I'll do it and she'll swoop back in, and I know she'll be more than happy to have a conversation with you and answer your questions because she is that sweet and that kind. But let me introduce her. Joan is a motivational speaker, a communication specialist, and a women's empowerment coach from New York City. She has a 30-year career as a psychotherapist, a meditation teacher, and a trauma specialist. And she infuses her work with a mindful and compassionate approach to personal growth and helping her clients with their transformation. And in 2020, she decided to bring her practice online, and thank goodness she did, for all of us that are now able to connect with her and meet her. And she's developed several courses and programs where she teaches women we are all natural nurturers, right? Well, she teaches us how to make ourselves a priority, find the courage to speak up, which is really important for a lot of women, and become a valued voice in those conversations that are so important. Joan, welcome. I know my audience is really excited to hear from you. And there are so many women across the country that are thankful that you decided to jump into the online space with us. Is there anything you want to add to that before we dive in and we just
I want to say thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here. And I'm really grateful to share what I have learned and what I have found to be helpful to women who are, don't tell anybody, but we're the smarter sex. And that's the truth.
I agree.
Let it be our secret.
I agree. I love that. So tell us about your business. I kind of introduced you and gave everybody a glimpse into who you are and what you do and who you serve. But tell us a little bit more, dive a little bit deeper, and like, how did you get started? And what are the things that you help your clients overcome?
Sure. Well, for 30 years, I've been practicing as a psychotherapist with a holistic orientation because I'm also a yoga teacher. I teach meditation, and I'm a body-mind specialist. And in July of 2020, when we all realized the pandemic was not going to disappear like magic,
Right.
We realized that we needed to figure out what to do. And at that point, I was really interested in seeing what I could do to engage the people I was already working with. And so I asked people if they wanted to be part of a women's group.
Yeah.
And a number of them said yes. And that was how my Women's Empowerment Incubator was started.
Nice.
At that time, I said, let me think of what I can teach. I came up with a subject, and it's been a while, so I had to actually go back and remember which subject I taught the first time around.
Sure.
And I taught a program called Empowering Ourselves, which is a 5-week transformational program. I came up with a title. This is for you course creators and entrepreneurs out there who are doing this yourself. I came up with a title. I came up with several subtopics. I said, this is how much it's going to cost. This is how long it's going to be. Are you interested? 7 people said yes. And that was my first seed launch.
Love it.
I had no idea what a seed launch was. I had no idea that I was doing a seed launch. And it wasn't until years later that I found out, oh, that's what that's called. That's a seed launch.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that you just said, okay, I'm going to put this together and I'm going to do this, right? Mm-hmm. So what did your family say when you said to them, I want to be in the online space, and I'm going to take the work that I do and move it over into that space? Were they afraid for you? Did they what did they say?
They were very supportive and they were encouraging. They said, what a great idea. How would you work otherwise if you were not going to be able to work in person? Mm-hmm. And I come from a very creative family. They're very innovative, and there are a lot of different people look at things as an opportunity, and I saw it as an opportunity. And to be honest with you, I'll be really honest with you. I'll share this with you, Tracy. I was also bored. I was sitting home, seeing people online, and I was like, I want connection. I want community. And so one of the things that came to me that caused me to decide to start these programs online, I said, you know what? I know what a difference it makes when 2 people of like minds, 2 people who are interested in one another, who listen, who pay attention, and who provide each other that really that support that you get from a really close friend. I know the power of transformation that can happen one-to-one. And I said to myself, you know what? I know the way that's worked with my one-on-one sessions. What would it be like if I brought together a group of women who were kind, who were caring, who were interested, who were wanting very much to help each other, but then bring them together in a group and then say, now you get to be helped by everyone else because everybody else wants to help you, and you want to help everyone else. And so it's going to be a community where there's a shared understanding and an agreement that that's what we're going to do. And
Nice.
the reason that things turned out the way they did, I mean, I know that I do something that's valuable and I know that people have gotten benefit out of it. But the reason that it turned out the way it did is because women came together to support one another and they
Nice.
brought the best that they had. And
Mhm.
when we do that as a community, it changes everything.
Yeah, it does. It has this massive ripple effect. It reminds me of why I started my free Facebook group. A lot of you guys are in it. We're streaming into it right now. It's called Be a Confident Entrepreneur, Get Visible and Grow Your Income. And for a very similar reason, I wasn't necessarily bored, but I couldn't find a group or a community on Facebook that I liked or that I really wanted to be a part of. And I thought, well, I'll just make one myself. So I
Mhm,
guess that, you and I have that in common. That's really cool.
mhm.
Tell everybody, when you first started out, what were some of the challenges you faced in the beginning and how did you navigate those?
Well, when I first went on to Zoom, I hated it. I said, this is never going to work. And I spent a day and a half screaming at the computer, what's wrong with you? Because it didn't work. And
Oh God.
then, like 2 days in, and thank goodness God gave me a very good sense of humor that runs in my family. All of a sudden, I got this lightning bolt, and it was like, oh, that's how it works. This won't
Yeah,
be so bad. And so,
yeah,
after first learning that, what I recognized in my whole journey as an online course presenter was there were many different things I needed to learn. And so
yeah,
there were many different hurdles that we as entrepreneurs will jump over, have to find a way to jump over, around, or sometimes through in
right.
order to get to the other side. And so that was one of the biggest challenges was, what do I do? What is engagement? What does it mean to be visible? How do you create an audience? How do you grow your email list? There are all these questions about how to take what I've been doing in person and then let other people know about it so that they
Yeah,
could find out and then try it. And
yeah.
there was a lot of frustration.
Yeah, I get it because you and I have been together almost 9 months. You started as a student in my Business Visibility Made Easy program, and now you're in the alumni membership. And I am not the only one who has seen the absolute unbelievable progress you have made because there is nobody as persistent and tenacious as Joan. Like, don't tell her she can't learn something or do something because she will figure it out. And I would just want to applaud you for that because I felt the same way, Joan, when I started. I brought this massive amount of experience from corporate, 20-year career, marketing, sales, business growth. I was really good at what I did. And I'm used to, much like you, we're highly educated, intelligent women who are used to mastering things quickly. And this online space, I needed a decoder ring. I was like, what's a funnel? What's a lead magnet? What's Kajabi? What
Right.
what what's an opt-in? What the heck are you guys talking about? So I totally get it. But the fact that you were courageous enough to not let that stop you, I think is really inspiring for a lot of people to hear. What are some of the things that surprised you or have surprised you throughout the process of building everything?
How many hurdles I had to jump over, and how, after giving it some thought, being frustrated, giving it some thought, and then going back to it, how I was able to get past them.
Yeah.
Because I am tenacious and I am persistent, and I have to thank many people in my family, especially my mom, for that, because that's the way she was. She would struggle with something, it would be hard for her, and then it would be like, that's it, I'm getting up and I'm going to figure it out. And so, I mean, I've been grateful for that. I also am very grateful for those people that can help me with that so I don't have to do and learn and know everything.
Right.
Because see, the essence of what I'm doing is not about being good at the tech. I mean, that's a piece that's a necessary part of it.
Yeah.
The thing that I'm interested in is being able to figure out a way to reach out and connect with hearts of other women, because there are so many women out there that are smart, that are capable, that are compassionate, and they underestimate themselves. They underestimate their ability. And
Yes.
because they're so good at taking care of everybody else, they lose time and energy, and then they don't have what they need for themselves. And then when they try to do something for themselves and they have a hard time doing it, then they get down on themselves and they feel worse about themselves. And my message and my desire is to build an online community of women who can support one another through the process of these struggles, and not go into that place of what's wrong with me, and not go into that place of I'm so dumb. Because you know what? Many smart women, for various reasons, which I talk about in my programs, have a hard time with speaking up, have a hard time with saying what they want to say. And most of it's because they're afraid that somebody will say something that will upset the apple cart. They're afraid of a negative consequence. And so that's what I specialize in. And one of the things I'm doing is by teaching people how to recognize where there might be a negative consequence and when it's the right time to get past it and how to do it.
Yeah.
Because when you get past it, that's when your confidence soars.
Oh, yeah. I could not agree more. Absolutely. So speaking of confidence that you gained, is there one particular milestone in everything you've had to do in building in this space that you are particularly proud of? Like one thing that, like, when you did that, you were like, yes, if I can do this, then this whole thing's probably going to work.
I'm not sure if I can point out one, but I do know that one of the things that's been most important to me is finding the right people to connect with, and is being in community. And honestly, one of the things that's been important to me is being part of your community. It's made a huge difference for me. I've learned a lot about what I didn't know about Facebook, which is 10 million things. And I've learned many things that could frustrate me more about Facebook, which is 10 million things. But also, in all seriousness, it's very important to be able to keep going. And I think when you are doing something that's challenging or difficult or new, you need to find other people to be able to keep going, to help you keep going. And what I found over the years, after I discovered I had done a seed launch quite by accident, was I took a lot of very expensive courses. Yeah. And I was disappointed because the community was huge. There was no way really to connect. And that's what I wanted to do. I mean, that's what I teach. That's what I do when I work with people. So being in your community has meant a whole lot. And I greatly appreciate that. My own milestones, I've one of the things I would say is the most significant to me is when I have shared information with people in my group, in my programs, and they get it and they start helping each other. And I am witnessing them helping one another, witnessing them reaching out and supporting each other. And then I see one of them or both of them transform. Something just changes. A light bulb goes off in their head and they're like, wow. Yeah. And I feel so blessed and grateful to be a witness to that. So for me, that's the milestone, because it's their getting it. It's not that I've done something amazing. I think I'm really good at what I do, but it's that they're getting it. And then I see that. I get to witness that.
Yeah. Oh, totally get that. I feel the same way. And we love having you in our community. I mean, first of all, you're hilarious and you always make us laugh. And second of all, you are such a great example of persistence and tenacity and not giving up. And, it's inspiring to everybody in the group. Is there anything that you wish you would have known if you had a crystal ball before you started into the online space? Is there anything that you wish you would have known?
Oh, so many things. And I think I'm going to answer in the opposite way. There are many things that I'm grateful that I didn't know, because I think if I knew as much about how many different challenges there would be to actually get something up and running and off the ground and gain visibility, I might have given up.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a really great way to look at it, because if we'd all known what we were getting ourselves in for, we might not have started. That's a really great point. So when it comes to, if we did know everything we were getting ourselves into and we made the decision to go for it anyway and take the risk, when you have a decision like that tomorrow, or you have something in your life that feels like it might be a risk, how do you approach making that decision and summoning up the courage and inspiring yourself to keep going. Do you have any tips for everybody on how they could do that too?
Yes. Don't assume that in the moment when you're frustrated, that's a good time to figure it out. It's a terrible time to figure it out. Don't assume in any situation, if you're upset or frustrated or angry, it's the worst time to try to resolve the situation. In that moment, it's important to just acknowledge how you feel and take good care of yourself.
Yeah.
And take distance from it and go away from it, or journal about it, do yoga, stand on your head, whatever works for you. But don't figure it out. Don't try to figure it out then, because that's not a good time. You need to clear your head and you need to take some time away and then come back to it with fresh eyes. Because when I've done that, whenever I've done that, and sometimes it takes a few days, it's like, oh, I could do it this way. I could do it that way. Your intuition, your spirit, your creativity, and your wisdom gets blocked when you're feeling frustrated. So you need to let that settle, and then that stuff is going to come up again and help you.
Yeah, that's a great point, because all of that emotion that you're feeling and that adrenaline that's going on because you're frustrated and you're mad and da 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 da. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's a great tip. We just need to let that simmer down, find something else to do for a little bit, and come back. Yeah, I think that's great, because otherwise we risk lashing out in anger or making the frustration worse, or, something like that. So
We're saying, I'm no good. I'm never going to do this. This is not right for me. I'm not right for this. We're very good at telling ourselves all sorts of messages that aren't helpful and that don't work. And when we're frustrated and when we're angry and when we're emotionally dysregulated for whatever the reason, those messages are going to come up. And so what you need to do is, when that happens, when you're not feeling settled and comfortable and when you're feeling frustrated, is say to yourself, I'm not going to listen to myself right now. I'm not going to follow those messages right now. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to hear them and acknowledge they're there. And then I'm not going to respond, because I can't trust the things that are coming up in my brain right now because of how I feel.
That is really, really powerful. Just like you can hear it, you can let it come up, but you're not going to listen to it and give it any sort of traction in your brain. I think that's great. So give us an insight into, when you looking back to when you first started, is there one key ingredient that you feel like has brought you to success this far? Because you've had some launches that have been really, really good, and you've done amazing work.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. From you, that means a lot.
It's the truth.
You're going to laugh. What was the question?
Is there one key ingredient, like looking back to the start of your business until now, is there one key ingredient that you would say contributed to your success more than anything? I feel like I know what the answer is, but I want you to share it with everybody. I'm curious to see how you would answer that question.
Well, if I had to pick one thing, I think there were a few, but if I had to pick one thing, I think it would be confidence in myself and my message. And it's not about, oh, this is such a good message and I'm so smart, and and it's not coming from a like an arrogant place. It's coming from a deep inner knowing that what I'm doing is something I am meant to do. It has been given to me divinely, and I am passing on what I have been asked to do. And I happen to be somebody that knows it and that understands it. And sometimes I know it and understand it, but I don't understand how I know it, kind of thing. It's like there. And of course, part of it's due to a lot of the work that I've been doing over the years with my clients. So there is knowledge from experience, but also I feel like believing in yourself, believing in what you have to offer, even if you don't know what it looks like, even if you don't know how you're going to do it, is such an important part of being able to then step into, okay, now what am I going to do? And then dealing with all the rest of it, which brings up all that frustration we were talking about before. So I would say that's really, really most of it. And I think I have to again, I need to credit, and I want to credit my family, because I come from a family of very smart, short, but very confident women who have shown me how to, like, not let someone else make you feel marginalized,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
That's
And,
really, yeah.
yeah,
You're so fortunate to have that, and to have that foundation, because as you know, in the work that you do, so many women didn't have that foundation. Share with us, because I know everybody's dying to know, what is on the horizon for your business in the next 3 to 6 months? I know you've got a program coming up that you're really, really jazzed up about.
I do. So, thank you for asking me. So I have a program. It's one of my 2 signature programs. It may be my key signature program as I move forward and get clearer, which is called the Courage to Speak Up: A
Yes.
Heroine's Journey, Releasing Fear, Embracing Abundance, and Finding Your Authentic Voice. And it's an 8-week program. I have not set a date for when it's beginning yet, because I'm giving myself the time and space to figure out what I need to do beforehand without getting, in order to have enough time.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be sometime in the beginning of 2024.
Okay.
I launched it before. Everyone that was in the program had a transformational experience. And it's not because I'm so wonderful. People like me and they like working with me, which is good,
Right.
because that's what I'm doing, but it's
Right.
because people were engaged and I found a way to help them be engaged. That's one thing. The second thing that I am contemplating is figuring out a way to start a podcast.
Nice. I
And
think you would be a natural at a podcast.
thank you.
I
And
think it'd be so great.
as you know already, I like to talk.
Yeah.
I'm not a quiet person, and I enjoy sharing things of value. I also am fascinated with other people. I'm fascinated learning about and listening to what other people have to say.
Yeah.
So that's the second thing. There was something else.
Well, I know you brought a free guide for everybody today, and
Yes,
Jill is going to throw the link into the comments for us so everybody can grab it, and they are going to want to have it. It is a free guide to help us navigate conversations at the holidays that can sometimes feel super uncomfortable. Joan, do you want to give everybody a little bit more detail on that?
Sure. So it's called Joyous Gatherings: From Awkward Interactions to Satisfying Conversations.
Nice.
And one of the reasons that I came up with this is because so often, and again, this is not just at the holidays. So this guide can be used any time of year, but especially when people come together at the holidays, there's this myth. It's the holidays. Everything's going to be sparkling and beautiful and wonderful, and we're all going to get along, and love will prevail everywhere in the world. And
Right.
it's not true. I mean,
Right. It's not.
it
It's
doesn't work that way. And
Yeah.
so when you go into the holidays believing that, you can get
Yeah.
slammed really fast by somebody at the table asking you a very personal, inappropriate, intrusive
Right.
question, or making some kind of comment that starts a firestorm at the table. And so my desire, because I was thinking about this, what can I do to help at this time of year? My desire was to give people tips and strategies for how to plan in advance. If you know that someone could potentially say or do something, especially if it's something that's happening at your house, right?
Mhm.
How to plan in advance
Yeah.
to circumvent these problems from happening. Or if it happens in the moment, among other things that are in the guide, there are 5 different strategies, strategic choice points you can select from,
Right.
which way you want to go and how you want to deal with it.
Nice.
And one of them is everybody agrees to ignore that person completely and change the subject.
I've had to do that before. I've had to, as I'm thinking about a gathering, and I know and I'm thinking, okay, who's going to be there? And knowing that there might be 1 or 2 people there that really just get my goat most every time I see them, I have ended up just like moving myself through into a different room and, oh, hey, I need to go to the ladies' room. I'll be right back. And, all that stuff. So I probably need your guide more than anybody, but you guys grab that because Joan is so gifted when it comes to things like this. And it's really going to help you. We all, like you're saying, we expect it to be like a Norman Rockwell painting.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Or a Hallmark commercial.
Right.
And it's not. It's more like Chevy Chase's Christmas Vacation most of the time, you know? And
Mhm.
so I think what you're offering is going to be so valuable and truly set people up to manage their expectations and then have
Mhm.
a game plan
Mhm.
of how can they what can they do and they can control to make it a better holiday experience. So
Right, and when you have that idea in mind before going to the holiday, celebration,
mhm.
you feel prepared. It's not the same, but it's like when you're on a diet and you look at the menu in the restaurant in advance and you know, "I'm ordering the broiled salmon,
Right.
even though I'd really like the pasta primavera." You know, you're planning in advance so that you will come to you come into the situation, and if something happens, you don't get sidelined by it. You can just respond to it in a skillful way. I just want to very quickly say, the shorter link for this. I know Jill's going to be putting this up, and I appreciate that. The
Yeah.
shorter link for the guide is bit.ly/joyful talk, JOYFULTALK. If you're interested in getting it, I would absolutely love to hear from you if you get it and you have any questions. And as part of what I'm offering with the guide, I'm also offering for anyone who's feeling like, oh, what am I going to do when I get to the table at Aunt Mary's house? You're welcome to get in touch with me. I'm offering a free 30-minute session where you come with any problem you are expecting, and we will
Nice.
help figure it out. And if there is a way to respond to it, we'll actually write a script out so you'll know exactly what to say. You'll have your little index cards. You can practice in advance, and then you'll be able to handle it with ease.
Nice. That is so generous. Oh my gosh. That's so great. So tell us, you've been, as I mentioned, you've been one of my Business Visibility Made Easy students since the April class, and now you're in the alumni membership. We had our live networking call this morning. It's always so much fun. We kicked that program off again in January. The next round starts on February 5th. And I've got live master classes happening in January for people to go ahead and sign up. If there's somebody that's listening right now that's on the wait list, and because waitlisters get a VIP experience, they get one-to-one time with me, they get Boxer access to me throughout the program. It's a pretty big deal. If they're on the fence about it and they're on the wait list and they get the waitlister email that says, grab your seat now before the doors officially open, what would you say to them about the program and how much it's helped you, and whether or not it's been worth your time and the investment and all of that jazz?
So yes, definitely. I would say grab it now because you don't want to wait. I would say that for me, in the last 6 months, I've made so much growth. I feel like I need another brain to hold on to all the information that I've learned. And I think the key in so much of what you do is that you create a very warm and welcoming community.
Thank you.
And
Thank
because you're welcome, and because all of us who are in the membership now have the benefit of being the first group starting with you,
you.
it's really very personal. It's very intimate, and there's great opportunities to connect. I know there are many other wonderful coaches out there. I'm not going to mention anybody, but I know there are also many wonderful coaches out there.
Sure.
This community is huge, and it's very hard to navigate, and you can't really connect. And it's not their fault. They're just very successful. But I
Right.
think you need to find the right community for you, because like I said before about what I'm doing, it's very, there's this real similarity to what you're doing when you offer people a place where they can feel safe and seen, and they can talk about everything they did well and the things that didn't work, and have people say, that's okay. You can do it this way or that way, to have you get encouragement and coaching and cheerleading. There's a lot of cheerleading that goes on in this membership. And I would highly recommend it because there are many different things you can learn. Everybody is at their own place in the learning. You don't have to be in the same place. And people will step in and want to help you. And I'm one of them. If you come to the membership, you can count on me.
Yeah, that's for sure. So in terms of your visibility and your ability to get out onto social media and attract your ideal audience and, grow your email list and all the things we talk about in the program, do you feel like your investment of time was worth it, going through it and learning all the different strategies that I teach about? I guess that's kind of a loaded question. Is there something specific that that surprised you in the program?
Well, you and I first started talking about this, and my first comment to you is I hate Facebook. And
Yes.
so one of the things that surprised me is that I no longer hate Facebook. There are challenges using it, but I
Yeah.
have found a way, even though I couldn't imagine it before, you helped me to learn this. I found a way to say, wait a minute, in what way can I use this for myself that would feel aligned with my integrity? Because I don't want to be someone who's just opening my entire life up and telling everybody every single time I do something, because that's really not me. But I found a way to share myself authentically without having people feel like they're in my house and,
Right.
going from room to room with me, finding out when I drink my coffee and, when I'm folding my laundry and that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
to have the personal to share personally in a way that's right to me, and then through that gain connections with people and then start authentic conversations.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people on Facebook that do not converse or connect authentically, and so you have to go through that, and you have to sift through that. And I think one of the things that was most important for me was not to get discouraged when someone says want to be friends, and I'm like, okay, and then they start hard pitching me something. I just, it's like, no, that's not what I want to do, and you just have to keep moving on. So I think that was the biggest thing. And there are so many things that are ahead of me and I haven't done yet. But it's exciting to know. And it's exciting to know that there are a lot of things that I'm going to be step into. And there's a framework that's going to support me in that process.
Right. And we were talking this morning in our group about everybody is noticing what you're doing. Like, you're making videos like a crazy woman. And it's so cool because when we first met, like you said, you were like, I don't know that I want to be on Facebook. And I was like, but Joan, that's where your audience is. And you're like, okay, I'm going to trust you. And then now look at you. You're navigating it. You're creating videos. You're getting out on social media. And you are having those authentic conversations. And again, I know I've said this 3 or 4 times in this interview, but we are very inspired by you and just so stinking proud of how you've just said, nope, this is not going to get me. I'm going to figure it out.
I really appreciate that. I just want to emphasize again, for anybody out there that's thinking about it, you need to find the right coach and you need to find the right community where you'll feel supported. And I would say it's worth giving it a shot and seeing how you feel about it. I think you're going to be happy that you do. But I think, until you try, you're not going to know if you like it. I mean, that's just the truth.
Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I know Jill popped the link to the wait list in the chat. If you guys are not a member of my free Facebook community, it's called Be a Confident Entrepreneur, Get Visible and Grow Your Income. I know Joan is a member of that, and a lot of you that are here today with us. But if you're coming to us through YouTube or my Facebook business page and you're not in the group, get in the group. It is a community of support and kindness, and we network and we collaborate. And, if you need help with something, we are there to help you. But then when you are ready to dive deeper, like Joan is saying, in having a coach and having a group that absolutely supports you, that's focused on that goal of visibility and email list growth, that's where we want to welcome you into the Business Visibility Made Easy community. All right, my friends. Joan, thank you again so much for being here. Is there anything else you want to add that I haven't asked you or that you'd like to share about your programs or anything before we go?
Thank you for that question. That's a very good question. I like that question. I just want to say that I think that we need to trust ourselves. We need to have faith in our intuition, and we need to look for people that are genuine to work with, genuine that can really help you. And I think that once you find the right person, whether it's Tracy, whether it's me, whether it's someone else, things start opening up. They just start opening up. And I think that it's important to give yourself the opportunity to see where the right places are for you to find those people where things will open up. I hope you'll be interested in learning more about what I do. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me. Tracy, I have a question. Can you, after we finish, can you put my link to my Facebook group in the chat? Because I have a Facebook group called the Women's Empowerment Incubator.
Yep.
And I do interviews. I put up video, as you know, trainings. We have a women's empowerment cafe, and we have a women's empowerment book club, and it's all free. And
And
anyone
it's
who
fun.
wants to come,
Yeah. Yes,
welcome.
absolutely. Jill's probably already popping over to grab that and pop it into the comments for us. And then later today, if you want to, or after we get off of this, if you want to create a separate post in my group to invite everybody that way, in case they miss it in the comments, you're more than welcome to do that, because I think that would be amazing.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. And you made such a great point. You guys, I firmly believe that when you follow what Joan said, she feels like she knows that her gifts and talents were divinely given to her. I believe that about myself as well. And I also believe, like what she's saying, that when you go forward in faith with your gifts and your talents, and you just keep taking the next right step and the next right step and the next right step, the universe is going to open up and things are going to start happening. And it can be a little scary, but that's where I want to remind you, like I do every week, don't go it alone. It's hard being an entrepreneur. It's scary to take those steps. Some days you're on top of on the mountain. Other days you're at the bottom of it, looking at it going, how in the heck am I going to get up there? And if you think you're alone in that feeling, you are not. And that's where we want to invite you into our community. I want you guys to have a great balance of the week and weekend. And remember, when one of us rises, we all rise. So we have got to keep cheering each other on. And in the comments, I didn't see any questions today, but that's all right. If you guys are coming to us on replay and you have a question for Joan or for me, just pop it in the comments. And I know that Joan will see it and she'll come in and answer for you guys.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for inviting me to be a guest today. This was a blast. I had a great time. Really enjoyed chatting with you about my work, and it's always nice spending time with you.
Yes, I agree. It's always a lovely conversation. And as I said this morning, I was going to have to watch myself, because you and I get to talking and I could talk to you like all day. And then everybody would they'd have to leave because we'd be taking too much time.
This is one thing I want to wrap up with. Okay.
Yes.
One of the things that women will often say when they have something to say is, "Oh, I better hurry up and do it quickly because I'm taking too much time." Don't say that. I mean, we went over time, but that's not what I mean. When you have something to say, I'm saying this to all the women out there, when you have something to say, give yourself the time and space, and don't rush yourself through it. Mm-hmm. Take the time and give yourself grace, and give yourself the level of attention you give to everybody else.
Nice. That is a great thing to end on. I love it. Mic drop. Thanks, Joan. Thanks, everybody. I will see you guys. Let's see. We do not have a live next week, and we don't have one on the 28th, but I'll see you back at the 1st of January. And I'm going to try that new Instagram thing on StreamYard. So if nothing else, if you want some entertainment, come watch me. Come watch me try to navigate that. All right, my friends. I will see you guys soon.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays. All the things. Love y'all.
Bye.